up, my peoples, man? It's your boy E here, man. And look, as you continue through life and as you start to cut people off, as you start to maybe ghost people, because you just said, fuck it, I'd rather just leave you alone all the way. I don't even want to discuss nothing. I don't want to waste energy discussing something with you that we're never going to come to a common ground with, because you're never going to be accountable for. So I just leave you alone. I'll just ghost you. You know what I'm saying? As you start to do that, things start to get a little bit tricky, because motherfuckers gonna start trying to come back to you. They're gonna start trying to make you feel guilty for cutting them off, for leaving them, for Xing them out of your life. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to start making you feel bad about that shit. And then if you have a good heart, if you've always been a person with a big heart, it could sting a bit. It could make you feel something. It could make you start to reevaluate things and think, maybe I am tripping, man. Maybe this person wouldn't come off like this if maybe it had. And you start questioning yourself, self-doubting all the things that you remembered, that you knew that made you feel some sort of way. You know what I'm saying? All the things that you felt deep down like, damn, this shouldn't feel like this if this is somebody that fuck with me, if this is a friend, if this is a lover, if this is a cousin, a family, anybody. You feel like, damn, this should make me feel like that, right? And so, your feelings are valid. Your feelings, you feel them, you feel those feelings for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And those feelings are actually, they're actually like what guides you and let you know certain things about people. And like I say, people try to come back and make you feel like you did them wrong. Like, why you just stop talking to me? Like, you could at least let me know why you won't leave me, why you just won't leave me alone? Why? You could say something, give me some closure. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And then it's funny because, especially if you're a target, this is the thing that you wanted the most. See, and that's how this shit works too, dog. As far as being a target, because when you're a target, a lot of people around you are triangulated behind your back. They triangulate behind your back and talk about you and to these people. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it be times where you had to leave people alone, and because they did certain things to you, but at the same time, you kind of wondered why. I wish I could have some closure on why you would do me this way. Why would you hurt me this way? Why would you leave me this way? Why would you do whatever, man, right? And so at the same time, it's like a reverse psychology on you to be different than that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they can't do it for you, but you should feel bad for not doing it for them, because you didn't want it, you didn't like it when they did it to you, when they didn't give you no closure. Just another way to kind of pull you back into somebody else, to pull your energy back into somebody else's presence. And that's something that they would use. They would use that as fuel to kind of, manifest you back into their space. And I ain't gonna lie, that was something I had to get over. Because I feel like I don't have to tell you why I'm moving around. Fuck it. Just, how about, just move on with your life like I had to do. I couldn't get no answers about things that why people did shit to me. I couldn't get no answers about it. And I had to move on. It's your turn. Your turn. Now you can do the same thing. Because, people know how they made you feel. People know what they did. And they always want to blame it on you and make you feel like you the one that was feeling that way. You the one. No. How about something made me feel that way? How about something that you did made me feel that way? And how about, the way you felt, is valid or valid feelings. How about, you may have thought I didn't see what you was doing, but I seen it. I just didn't make it seem like I saw it. That thing you said, that was pretty underhanded. That was an underhanded sneak diss. I heard that. I was saying, you said that for a reason. You know why you said it, and you knew that it would trigger me. And that's the tricky thing about it, dog. Because as you go through this type of shit in your life, you will let's just say you would grow PTSD from the shit. And yes, there are some PTSD moments that I see in my life. There are some PTSD moments that I can say that I see in my life, but you're gonna have to learn how to differentiate those those PTSD moments. I always get some of these words fucked up when I'm talking because I have this speech impediment. Yeah, you're gonna have these PTSD moments, but you're gonna have to differentiate the PTSD from what you really know or for what you really seen, and then stop doubting yourself. See, because a lot of times it just comes from the doubt that you have because you don't want to believe what you saw. You don't want to believe what you heard, what you felt. And God has put these things in you for a reason, and they're to navigate through things. They're to navigate through people, to know how people really are and how they really feel about you, or how they really make you feel, how they drain you. All of these things speak in its own language. It speaks in an unspoken language. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never God speaking throughout all of these languages that you get throughout the experiences that you go through. And so, like I say, man, people gonna be trying to play on little shit like that, man. Things that can make you, things that can pull your strings, pull at your heartstrings, because, like I say, you was at a point where you wish somebody would give you closure. So why wouldn't you give this person closure? It's how they want you to feel. But I just feel like this, man. I feel like it's better to save my energy for people that matter. Because if I realize something about you, then I tend to feel like you don't matter as much to me no more. And I'm going through a situation like that as we speak right now, man. It was a dude that I used to talk to. I got real close to this person because they say all the right things, they say a lot of good things. This person has helped me in a lot of ways. It was times where I didn't have no food. I was hungry as fuck. This motherfucker go buy me some food. This person helped me get a battery for my car. This person then looked out for me in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Tangibly, So yeah, he looked out for me before. He looked out for me, and the thing is, I don't take that away from nobody. But the thing is, I do know that everything people do for you ain't always why they doing it for you. Because what they doing it for you don't even have to be because they truly care. It can also be because they want to be close. They want to, be somebody that you will always turn to because they know that you would, because they know that you know that they would help you, and they can be somebody you can call sometimes. And people use that, and people use that in a manipulating way to try to, make it seem like, but why would I do this? Why would I do that? If if I really felt something ill about you, why would I do that? Why would I do this for you? But it's all a game, dog. People do things for you to stay close to you. That's a real thing. People do things for you to stay close to you. And so this person here, I've always felt something about them because they had some weird ways that they acted towards me. And it was one time with this person, I was on the phone and I was by myself. I was kind of feeling some kind of way. I called this person and I noticed that this person was doing certain things that other people would do when I'm like in a certain space in my life. I think I was just coming off of some drugs. And I noticed that, when I started talking, I'm talking like something's wrong with me. This person started talking about all type of other things. And I'm like, damn, you don't even care that something's wrong with me because I clearly made it, clear that something's wrong with me right now. And you just talking about all these other things that shouldn't even matter right now because guess what? I don't know them. And at the same time, I'm going through something. I don't want to hear about all this other shit. And so I wound up saying, I'm like, I said, hey man, I told you something wrong with me. But it's like you keep rambling about other things instead of caring about, what's wrong with somebody that you're supposed to be cool with, It's like, why do you keep doing that? And before I knew it, just like a narcissist would do, this person showed me something. I remember him saying, well, hold up, why are you talking to me like this? Well, are you okay? Like, why? I said, I'm asking you a question. It's not about whether I'm okay. Of course, I told you something was wrong with me. Something is going on with me. But instead of you trying to care about that, all you cared about was talking about something else. And this person's like, look, you please don't do me that way. Please, I understand why. I don't understand why are you talking to me like that? Like, steady trying to flip it. You know, that's something narcissists do. Like, when you're trying to come down to an agreement, come down to an understanding with a person, especially a narcissist, one thing that they would do is, instead of trying to come down to the understanding, they're going to try to make you feel guilty about something and make you feel like, why are you doing this to me? You know what I'm saying? It's always a flip, a twist. And I noticed that about him. First time I've ever had him do that. And I hung up the phone on that person, right? And then talked to him for a long time. And after a while, I got back in touch with this person. You know, I was in my lonely phases, and certain things were going on, and I just kind of needed somebody to talk to. I got lonely and depressed and desperate, and I hit the person back, made it seem like nothing happened. I was tripping. I did all of that shit. I made it seem like I was just tripping. Maybe I was tripping, even though deep down I knew, no, I don't think I was tripping, but we just gonna deal with this person because they know how to be good to me when they want to. So in a way, that's how my mind was. And then I started to just try to give this person another chance, and felt like, okay, even if they were a part of something, I just told myself, you know, even if they are a part of something and they're working with this program in any kind of way, maybe they can have a change of heart and not do that shit no more, and then we can just go on our merry way. That's just how I was kind of feeling. I don't know. I wanted everything to be okay, you know. I didn't want to have to believe things was wrong, but you know. As I continue to, allow this person back in my life, talk to them here and there and all this stuff, like I say, they know how to talk good when they have to, and they know how to say the right thing. So, I don't have many of those around me. So, kind of just I guess settled with it because nobody else is doing this type of or talking this way to me, right? But anyways, it was one day he was asking me, he was like, I told him about how people would try to treat me when I was high and shit. And he always would say, well, why didn't you call me? And I told him because in a sense, I told him, I said, well, I had so much respect for you. I don't want you to see me like that. And I did at a point have that type of respect for him. I think I was starting to lose it, but I did kind of have that kind of respect for him. And he was like, well, and I said, I don't know, I'm scared. I think you might act the same. You might treat me a certain way too because of who I might become in that state. And he told me something. He said, well, that's not fair because you're not giving me the chance to prove to you that I can be something different than what other people have shown you. And in a way, I was like, well, he's right. I didn't give him a chance. I haven't given him a chance to show me if he could be different from other people when I'm in that state. So, I wasn't planning on giving him that chance, but the chance happened to come up because I wound up falling back into my addiction one day. And I was kind of coming down afterwards, and I called him. No, he called me, and I answered the phone because usually I wouldn't answer the phone for him while I'm in that state. But I went on ahead and did it. Told him everything. I was hungry, and he said he'd come bring a nigga to go get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Take a nigga to go get something to eat or whatever. And I noticed as we was driving to the place, I noticed while I was in this state, he started to do some of the things that other people did. People try to get in their grandiose phase around me to try to make themselves feel like they're above me when I'm in that high state, because when I'm in that state, I'm not very good as far as communicating and expressing myself, and people try to take advantage of that to take their opportunity to make themselves seem like they're above me in a lot of ways. And it's just another way to siphon energy from me to make themselves feel better. It's just a way of them doing that. And I was hoping that he wouldn't be a person that did that. But then I noticed that he started talking over me. When I started to talk about some stuff, he started trying to talk over me to not let me get my words out. And then there's times when I was talking to him, he would like ignore me, and then until I raised my voice and said, "Hey, you don't hear me?" And he like, "Oh, my bad. Oh, what you were saying?" You know, playing that same role, the same role that I see other people play when I'm in that state. And I played it off. I made it seem like I didn't even much see none of that, or I didn't even much care about any of that. I definitely did do that. Yeah, so you can say I was being a bit deceptive, but I think I was playing righteous deception. I believe my deception was righteous. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I think I was being a bit deceptive because I feel like, fuck it. Why should I be too real with motherfuckers who ain't no kind of real with me? Why should I be any kind of real for a motherfucker when they not keeping it real with me? So fuck it. That's why I consider it being justice. You know, I consider it being deception of justice, if you will. You know, and so yeah. So I played it off until I got out of his presence, and then I just stopped fucking with him. Stopped talking to him no more. I ain't hit him up no more. He started hitting me. I didn't answer the phone. He started hitting me on Facebook. I ain't answering none of those things. I'm making videos. People commenting. I'm hitting like on what they're saying. I'm not hitting like on none of his shit. I'm not saying nothing to him. I'm just Xing him the fuck out. Because I feel like you was too close. You was too close to me for me to allow you to stay around me. Because yeah, you was close. And see, the thing is, God have a funny way of making you believe what you was doubting that you already knew deep down inside. God got a way of doing that. And it's like when you have doubts about somebody, it's like at some point, God, if you asking God for clarity about a person, you don't know how it's really going to be, but He's going to show you something. It's going to be an unspoken language that He's going to show you within a situation that's going to let you know truly what you was believing or seeing or feeling that shit was real. And so like once he started doing that, all I could think about was the last time. After I left his presence, all I could think about was the last time when I hung up in his face and the things that he was doing on that phone. I'm like, yeah, it just makes that shit even much more stronger. Now I'm not even confused at all no more. Now I don't even want to think I'm confused at all. Now I feel like I know what I feel. And now you're just out of my life. And even though you're trying to call and text me and all that shit and I'm not answering, it should speak volumes to you. Especially how the way it is now. Now my phone ain't off. Now my number didn't change. Now, you know what I'm saying, my Facebook is still up. I still answer people, but not you. It should speak in a lot of languages, you know what I'm saying? And not to mention, this person hit me with a little paragraph text message talking about, usually when I X somebody out of my life, I usually explain to them why. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, he's trying to make me feel bad about not explaining why I'm not talking to him no more. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to use that to pull on my heartstrings to try, because see, I never got closure from people or why they do certain things they did. And I guess in a way I should feel like, well, maybe I should give somebody closure. I don't want to be like them. But no, there are certain ways about people that I am going to be like. There are certain things that people did that I will do. Not all of those things. I'm not going to do everything that's like y'all, because I feel some of that shit is just very insensitive, very inhumane. I would never do some of that shit y'all did, but some of those things y'all might have done to me, especially when it comes down to giving closure, I feel like I can be the same way. I don't feel bad about being certain ways like y'all. I don't want to be every way like y'all. But certain things we do have in common. You can't say we ain't got nothing common. You know what I'm saying? I don't do certain things that y'all wouldn't do, but there are some things that you do that I don't mind doing. Especially as a person who feels energies, who feels things much deeper than most people. Certain things I don't want to have to be dealing with if it doesn't seem like it's worth my time now. And if you are somebody who I choose to ghost and get away from because I feel like you're not worth my time, then you're not worth that energy for me to have to go through to let you know all of this shit or to give you closure. You know, you stop being that at a certain point. So it is what it is, you know. And this person, like I say, he trying to make me feel bad. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard that message, I looked at it, I'm like, it did hit my heart. It pulled my heartstring. It damn near started making me go back and forth in my head. And I had to really, a part of me had to really tap me on the shoulder and say, hey bro, look here. Don't let that shit fool you. Don't let that shit fool you, dog. Motherfuckers is saying shit because, and then you gotta think about it. The fact that you're steady coming back here, acting like it's all good, it's even more of a disrespect. Because you're steady trying to gaslight me to believe, or try to confuse me to believe that, like, it was no reason that I did something. You know what I'm saying? And even if that's not the case, you know what I'm saying? If that's not the case, you know, still, I felt what I felt out for you, and you took the chance you took your opportunity. Every opportunity ain't a good opportunity. Some opportunities are a test to see who your character really is, where your moral compass really stands, because sometimes people say they are a certain way and they're not. And see, the thing about it is, most people knew that if they'd have came at you with who they really was, that you would have never dealt with them in the first place. So if you ask me, you know, it's not like I was gonna continue. It's not like there wasn't going to be a point to where I wouldn't stop dealing with you, because obviously it was going to be inevitable. It was going to be inevitable that I stopped dealing with you once I found out who you was, anyways. Which is why you didn't show me that in the first place. But so that's why now that you're growing, and I wouldn't have dealt with you in the first place, because if I'd have knew that, you know what I'm saying, fuck explaining anything to you now. I don't care about you like that now. Now I have to phase you the fuck out, put you on a scale of being a nobody or somebody I should never deal with, and leave you there, and just move the fuck around. I mean, this person wasn't a horrible person to me, so I still have some sort of heart for that person. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I don't like not care about that person, because if I don't know. I couldn't say that I could just see that person go through some shit and I couldn't help that motherfucker for that moment. But I feel like I do have to move around from people, because I can tell you one thing. It wasn't like that. He wasn't the worst person I've ever dealt with. He definitely wasn't. He was one of the people that was very close to me, which is why he had to have done a lot of things that was good. But the thing is, how can I trust you now? When trust goes out the window, you can't be as close with a person that you was with. You know, you can't be as close as you was with a person if trust goes out the window. Now that I see something within you that kind of makes me not trust you no more, you know, what's the point of having you around when I'm just always thinking like, man, I don't know about this motherfucker, right? Wow, that's too much work. You feel me? But anyways, y'all, I don't know. I just felt like this was something heartfelt that I had to talk about, because I'm dealing with it as we speak, and I feel like, you know, y'all might have the situation, or might have to deal with the situation at some point. Who knows? But I just feel like I should just put it out there, because there's certain things that we do tend to have to deal with as we go through life as targeted people. You feel me? But anyways, y'all, I'm just shooting at y'all because, like I said, felt led to talk about it. But anyways, I will holler at y'all, man. Let me know how y'all feel about this shit, man. What you think? You know what I'm saying? Thoughts. You feel me? But anyways, I'll holler. Peace.